Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am here with my co-host, the, what is it? I think Sleepy said the velvet voice of Onward. Buxton, how are you doing today, sir? Ooh. You know what? I did this to Sleepy last time, too. And we had the intros running good, dude, and it was all looking great. And then the audience couldn't hear you, so try that again, and they can hear you this time.
All right.
Yes, we're good.
I'm doing good. Nice and warmed up from the cast had earlier today. Hopefully, you're feeling the same.
Yeah, we have had some fantastic Onward this first week of Season 7. It's been kicked off with some really high-velocity games in between teams that we don't normally cover. So it's been a lot of guessing work, and I think we're gonna have more of that today because we got Riot versus Hand of Death, and I mean, I don't know what to expect from either one of these squads, especially with how Riot's been playing this week already.
Yeah, Riot has had some troubles in the past. They've rebranded though. They were previously Magnificent, you know.
Oh.
And, because they're now Riot, I wonder if that means they've kind of got a lot of scrims out there practicing their kind of redoing their internal structure, and that's why I've also decided to rebrand at the same time.
Interesting. Yeah, you look at the roster, you'll recognize some faces there: Riot Zero, Logical Mobster, Ronnie P, the Unseen Threat, and Todd Havercorn, one of our fellow casters. Yeah, those are that's a season squad since Season 3. So, although a new name, they're definitely still maintaining their. This is interesting. I think that some other teams have rebranded, but they haven't kept their old stats with them, like this team has. Wonder
That's mostly because they're kind of remaking the team on the side compared to just renaming themselves.
Okay.
I suppose it's kind of just a personal preference if you want to start totally clean slate or kind of have your team evolve.
I got you. Okay. That makes sense. Always good to know the history. And then you look at the Hand of Death, another, well, somewhat seasoned team now. Urban Ghost, Mr. Jacob, Bremer G, I Am Patrick, K-Dog, Skeptical, The Ban, and Xandria, one of the newest additions to the casting roster. So caster v caster today.
Yeah, Xandria, the newest member of the casting team. I believe you have casted with him already. Was that a few days ago?
Yep.
An earlier match?
Yeah, he's gotten his first cast under the belt, and excited to see more from him. We really get to see what sort of skill level he's working with here today, because I think Hand of Death, I know they got a little attention in Season 6, 2 games cast in Season 6. Season 5, they had just joined at the end of Season 5. So they haven't been around too long. They've really only been around a season.
Yeah, they are a pretty fresh face, but Season 6, that was their kind of first real season. They didn't have a fantastic time during it. They had a 23% win rate. That's 3 wins and 10 losses. So I wonder if they've done a lot of scrims and practice in between, or if they're just trying to work things out, or rather, Season 6 was just their season to work things out, get used to how the league runs, and then they kind of start their Season 7 fresh slate and have that be their first real season like Blaze did.
Yeah, those new teams, when they come out after sort of experiencing what VRML has to offer, and they come in that second season, it's always kind of interesting. Blaze is a great example. They came in so hot, no pun intended, and they're definitely going to be a team that we have to watch this season as well. I'm thinking of the right squad, right? Because there's so many different flaming teams. Blaze, Inferno, Phoenix. Blaze is the up-and-coming squad, right?
Blaze is the team that went to the semifinals.
Yes. Okay. And then isn't Blaze? Yeah, isn't Phoenix a sister team of Blaze or something like that?
Phoenix isn't, but Ember is.
Okay.
It's quite confusing. They need to get them inside their repertoire.
Can we make a rule: no more fire-related names for teams?
That can only be a maximum of 2.
Yeah. You have to change to a water theme if you're one of the other fire-related squads. But I guess we can talk about pick ban, since we are going to be hopping into this round seemingly shortly. Buxton, take it away, man. I can't remember.
He didn't write it down, but yeah, from Riot here, we have a ban of Tanker, kind of a standard kind of trash ban. They want to keep their options open, don't want to rule anything really out. And from the opposing side, the Hand of Death, they have banned Bazaar, which is, I think, is an interesting one. Most teams aren't going to ban such a kind of even and fair map.
Yeah, without any delay, we're going to be hopping into the first map of the day, which is going to be Suburbia. Both these teams duking it out with a middle objective to kick things off, so it could be very fast.
I hope it will be, because it's a perfect objective to start off with. You get the kind of action, it warms up the players very nicely, and Todd is fearless here.
Wow, he caught one. Can he get another? He gets Xandria, an instant double here for Todd. There goes one up in the second story. Hand of Death have crumbled. Todd does go down, an egg coming to the bottom floor. They shut down that fast push.
That was certainly the high-octane, high-velocity way to start off this match, that's for sure. Wow. 3 kills in the space, well, 4 kills actually in the space of about 20 seconds.
Very nicely done. No, sorry. They had lost 3 so fast. Now there's only 2 left in that second story. Holding off against the 4 remaining members of Riot. Scratch that, make it 3. Unseen threat going down in the smokes.
Mobstar maybe prepping for a nade game. He's capping on the stairs, but Urban Ghost is coming around. He's ready for it. He takes him down. Castle on the stairs. It can work out well, but not in that scenario, unfortunately. It's been a while. Oh, no. Logical.
No, that's not what you want. There's still the res there. But he may die going for it after team killing a friendly. That's the worst. This is so risky. Skeptical is looking over here. No, he's not. He's watching the stairwell.
Logical was very scared that he let out some kind of yelp as he went back towards the APC. But kind of going back to the cap on the stairs, it's really rare that you see teams do that. They're kind of a little bit too scared to do it. Because you do sometimes have people peeking around the corners quite often. It
happened yesterday. And
did it?
Yeah, it did. And I think that's probably where the idea came into play there, because you're right, you don't see too many people doing it, but yeah, it can pay off, dude. It worked. It got Fury 2 points.
Very nice. But also kind of going back a little bit further to the initial start of the match. From what we've seen of Riot in the past, well, magnificent technically, they are feeling like a totally different team. They had coordinated smokes, they had coordinated movements, they were quite fast coming in, they got the picks, and they just started to kind of collapse onside the center house. It didn't really work out because of the team kills and also the slight fragmentation. They weren't really fully grouped up going in. You do kind of have to group up to go up the stairs safely, but they definitely feel a lot more coordinated than previously. I think that might be due to Mobstar. I believe he was a member of Ronin before that team disbanded at the end of last season, so him getting picked up here could be a big thing for Riot going into this match.
A lot of, I haven't actually been paying much attention to the new acquisitions made by different teams and who the new additions are. All I've really been focused on is the new squads that have been formed, and this is real interesting. Logical coming in loud. I think he's trying to impress the stream, but it's a really risky idea. You're just giving yourself away.
It did work out though. He got his pick.
He did.
Now this could be the one where Logical could go for the cap on the stairs. Skeptical's behind the objective. Not close enough to the stairs that he would see someone capping. But if he kind of floats around this area, then he would. I think just holding this current angle, hope no nades come up, he should be safe. But I have a feeling Logical's going to be prepping a nade pretty soon.
He's looking for something. He reached out and grabbed something down there. Skeptical took some shots. Yeah, Logical is going to try and nade. Skeptical has to back up. It's a flash. He turns and looks. Logical comes up, instantly gets shot. Unseen threat does find the shots from the bottom little ledge of the stairwell there, and Riot go up 1-0.
A little bit of a rocky start going to that round, but it did work out all in the end. They're definitely feeling more coordinated. I feel like Logical's being even more brazen than he was in the past. That grab the flash, the yelling at the guy on the stairs to bait him out. I feel like I'm almost seeing a little bit of Neox from the previous match I was doing earlier. Just quite brazen in his actions.
Some players like to, be loud and proud. Pants is a prime example of it.
Birds.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a fun way to play.
Yeah. It's a confident way to play, and it can definitely swing both ways, in good and bad. So we'll see if it continues to pay off for Riot, because you're right, it did get them that pick on the stairwell.
Did, and those first 3 picks from, well, 2 picks technically coming from Todd, that was vital. I don't quite know how he got the second kill. It was quite far away, but I guess he got it through the window.
I thought so they had 2 bottom story, one on the left side of the building, one on the right, and he killed the one on the left, and he just swung around and was instantly looking over where Xandria was and dialed in on him. It was a very savvy play from Todd. He definitely did a good job checking his corners before pushing in.
Absolutely. I hope we kind of see more players coming out from the Todd and also perhaps members of the Hand of Death as well. I'm not entirely sure who that would be. I believe Urban Ghost is pretty good in CQC, but that's just out of personal memory from playing with it and against him in competitive lobbies. So maybe we'll see more of that. Maybe. I'm hoping.
You want to make it rain on? Oh, give me a fatty, please.
Slim. Right. Nobody. Slim Jim, buddy. Thanks, Alright, get the code down, everyone.
Dancing going on.
I know, it's interesting. I think one thing I've noticed with the mid-ranked and rookie teams that don't get a lot of casting is I think they do let the cast affect them a little bit. That maybe feel a little bit more lighthearted, a little more vocal than normal. Or maybe that's just their normal play style and we're getting a new glimpse on some eccentric characters.
A new Adam House, but what I'm very interested to see here is the pistol shield combo, but it's totally useless. Todd, he doesn't care. He's taking the shield now. He's going to go straight through, I think.
Now he has a shield. That's probably worst case. A fantastic grenade from Logical out the window. Catches Skeptical. He'll be resable. Oh, sorry, no. Logical is tucked in over there by APC.
I think it might be safe to call like kind of a round loss for the Hand of Death there. Getting the shield on the stairs on Volk. Pretty much game over. It's so hard to take him down. He can block grenades. He can kind of bat away flashes.
Whoa, the flank from Zero here on the backside, and just like that, the Hand of Death gets completely demolished, and Riot go up 2-0.
Oh, I didn't expect the round to end like that. I guess they were kind of all grouping up, and Zero kind of figured it out there. If he went around the black car, they probably wouldn't be able to react in time, considering the fact that the LMG is just it's a strong one. Coming around the corner, guns are blazing. Be a little bit scared. They do not have the shield to back them up either.
Yeah, that was a hard loss to have your point man go in with the shield and lose it to the defenders, and especially on that objective, it's this is gonna be it would require some really nice finesse grenades up there, but good moves from Zero. The flanks are something I've been seeing that have been pretty effective, and I think squads need to work a little bit better on covering their flanks, leaving that one guy in the back just to make sure nobody's gonna come around and ruin your day.
Yeah, flanks can be a very, very good thing to exploit if the enemy team is not covering their backs correctly. And we kind of saw it there in a similar vein. Because the shield user wasn't backed up, no one was watching the door, nobody was watching the other door. Todd could have come around either side and totally demolished him, even if he didn't shoot him through the door first. I think the moral of the story of that is just back up your kind of unprotected teammates that only have a pistol and a shield.
Seems like we have a disconnect on the side of Riot. So waiting for those tech difficulties to sort themselves. We'll be diving in the game again shortly. You are just tuning in, haven't missed much. We're still on that first map, so things have just kicked off. But a good start for Riot so far. Definitely taking it to the Hand of Death. Granted, it could have been the objective, a middle house objective. It can get a little wonky, both sides on defending and attacking. We'll see if some of these other objectives favor their playstyle.
Yeah, that would be interesting, and it seems there was definitely a technical difficulty on the side of Riot here, getting a call from Todd saying that they are having a little bit of a technical timeout.
Well, I think we could probably cut to a brief intermission here.
We've probably got 5 minutes.
And yeah, we'll be right back with more action. Don't go anywhere. and patiently awaiting the beginning of the third round in this first map. If you are just tuning in, we have been having some tech difficulties over on the side of Riot. Hopefully those will be sorted shortly. Bux, have you been paying much? I'm curious to see. I know we have like literally 5 games being played right now, but I'm curious what the MMR and rankings are going to look like at the end of this first week.
I have a feeling we're going to see most likely at the top of the rankings. I'd say we're going to see either beginners or we're going to see a team with a challenge at the top, because currently it's only going by points. We have not finished the placements yet. That'll happen in about 2 weeks' time. Currently I think they're going to get the most challenges. Whoever just play the most matches regardless of win or loss is going to be the top for now, but that's not necessarily going to be the case in the near future.
So maybe don't put too much stock into the rankings this first week. Give it a week or two.
It's a nice flower.
Well, we're back to the action as Riot goes back on the offensive against Hand of Death. We have a far garage objective, and it looks like a little uncertainty in terms of the defensive positioning there. Urban Ghost relocating back to the tank pretty late, and a nice kill from Mr. Jacob inside middle house. Gets Hand of Death early. An early lead is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, it looks like Todd tried to do the exact same thing as the last, the first round actually. Tried to go in, checked his corners, ended up checking the wrong one at the wrong time, and he got took down, much like Patrick did there. Nice headshot from Logical through the bush.
Ooh, nade from Ghost. He did get killed, but it's right on top of Unseen, and it doesn't catch him.
It was just trapped between the bush and the sandbags.
Oh.
That's very unfortunate.
Hero going loud here with the suppressive fire. He could easily be picked off by Xandria here. Xandria just peeks around this porch corner. Oh, doesn't need to as Skeptical grabs him from the second story. Some flashes coming out. I'm not sure what the proper approach is for Riot here, but they need to get across the street.
Yeah, they absolutely need to. If they don't get across the street, they might as well take over said house and just hope. Because getting across the street once you have center house is hard enough, let alone when it's in such a situation where you don't. As you can see, Mobcell was picked off. The smokes, they're just not there. They're totally misplaced at the gardens right now.
I think they had maybe assumed that middle house was clear. Because the way they were moving, like none of the smokes are blocking vision from middle house. It's more focused on trying to deny vision from someone near objective. So see if Logical can pick off Mr. Jacob here just around the corner. What?
What a beautiful blind fire that was.
I wonder if he saw clipping through the wall. Maybe he knew he was around the other corner there, or he heard footsteps.
He knew Todd got killed there.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's just yeah, that's a good play from Logical right there.
I think that's the first blind fire I've seen with such accuracy. That was pretty much dead on his chest.
Another Riot member going down. He is resable though, and Logical is shifting around this side to maybe go for that res. He has plenty of time too. This Riot, these teams have not wasting any time. We have 3 minutes left on the clock, and we're in a 1v2.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that Logical is kind of hanging back from this revive. They could do it quite quickly, but he's seemingly doing it now. As long as no nades come his way, it's a perfectly safe revive for him to pick up. And now that he also knows where Skeptical is, Unseen's going to be calling it out, and he might be able to just blind fire through the bush to get him.
I was looking for the second member of Hand of Death for so long, and I forgot that Xandria is still tucked in the porch over there.
Well, it's a decent position because he can still see it on the street, and he can also rotate. And that nade looks really good. The insta-kill, NightFiree, that was beautiful.
Wow, right on top of his head. The res comes out, but Xandria shifts a little bit. Going to cover this street, and like we said, they have to cross it first. But they have all the time in the world. Xandria I don't think he's going to catch the APC move. Now he is. He gets it. Is he going to be ready for Unseen to his right, though, inside middle house?
I don't think he will, but Zandra is going to have plenty of time. Is that into the gun? Yes, he is. Straight into the gun, behind the tank, moving now towards the objective. Unseen's not going to have any real information where he is, and I don't think he'll be checking this right-hand side where Zandra is now, because he's already killed 2 people in this area. There's no point checking again, but he very much should.
Well, he just naded it, too.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, there's just corpses scattered around here in this little front yard area, and I'm shocked Xander was able to relocate like he did. Unseen's worried about a unseen threat in middle house. Nothing there.
Just noticed for the first time that the Xandra, he has goggles on top of his helmet. That's the first time I've ever noticed that. Little Onward trivia, just while we wait for some action from unseen threat there.
Huh. That's interesting. Fun facts with Buxton.
Do a segment on it every week.
Did you know there's a goggle inside the Volk helmets? Getting down to that brass tack. Yeah, 35 seconds left. He's pushing. He's moving. He's going to cross over, and he's not going to expect Xandra here. And, you know, if Xandra was holding a tighter angle, he may have been able to get across, but he had that whole front yard to cover. And Hand of Death are on the board. Comes down to the wire, and I don't know. I guess the round, I always talk about how when the round kicks off, that first round sort of determines the pace. There was a decent amount. There's some trading going on that first round. Like I was trying to get a gauge for what to expect. I think we're probably going to get a little bit of back and forth here.
I'm kind of feeling the same as well. I think Riot, if they don't kind of slip up too much, they can pull ahead easily and take this map. But if they kind of make those key mistakes, like what happened during this round, we had not catching Xandra on his rotate, you had Moxham getting picked off, you had the center house getting totally just ignored, you lost Todd early as well. If they don't make mistakes like those, they can definitely pull ahead here.
Yeah, maybe the key being there that they lost their front man. They've lost Todd, I guess, each round, but he's gotten some kills along the way when he's been pushing like that. So maybe him not being an effective member in that front line definitely causing Riot the round. But see what they do on the defense, if they get aggressive or not. This is typically an objective you sit back on pretty heavily.
Is that the members are readied up here, so he hopefully should be hopping in shortly, and I do kind of feel like we may see some aggressive Volk from right here, especially Todd. Like you were saying, it is the objective where you would hang back and kind of just sit in the spawn house waiting for them to come at you. But I feel like unorthodox aggression could work out quite well.
Yeah, I mean, the spawn point does allow him to get farther in front than normal. You know, sometimes spawn behind the behind this building, and then you have to move out, but you can get up all the way to this front yard. Yeah, we could see some early aggression from Todd here. Already a smoke getting tossed, though, and that's directed over towards that middle lane.
Not quite far enough, unfortunately. A second one also a little bit too close.
Seems to be a bit of a slow play from Hand of Death here. They're not charging in too early like they have the last few rounds. Rotating around to the edges of the map, taking their time with nades and pre-fire.
Definitely a lot of nades coming out, especially on the eastern side of the map. There was one attempting to nade before John, didn't really work out, and also on the east side there's a lot of fire trailing from Zero and Mr. Jacob there, standing on top of the plant box.
He knows Zero's over there. He's trying to find him through the shrubs. I think he knows he's in that that little shrub peeking spot here, but I don't think he'll be ready for this Skeptical and Xandria rotation. Look at Todd getting aggressive.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe he managed to get that kill. He did
One
just
down,
get
middle house.
refragged by
In front of him,
Xandria there,
get in there.
but that was a really risky kill. He was playing that very aggressively.
Xandria, nice
I'm gonna
use
smoke.
of getting up on the slide.
That was a horrible
Not
fucking
really
smoke.
needed.
I'm sorry, bro.
Newly unbanned and very strong. The spot, not Xandria.
Zero catches one. Is he going to be ready to follow up on Xandria, though? He's not. Now Xandria has the smokes that he's deployed. He's pushing up nicely into this front yard area. Unseen threat getting pinched from both sides. He catches one before he goes down. But Xandria is rotating around the backside of objective. Mobster is here, and he instantly gets picked off. Hand of death, tying it up 2-2.
Strong moves from Xandria there, and a very strong celebration too. He's happy about that one. What was that? He got one guy on the east side. Did he get two on the east?
He got 3 there.
Yeah, so he got a 3 kill there. Very, very respectable indeed. Now that's tied it up 2-2. So the hand of death is still in the game here. Riot is not yet pulled ahead, as I was talking about.
No, and I maybe just those first 2 rounds, right, coming out hot. I wonder if, you know, maybe now they'll taper back. We'll kind of get into this rhythm of trades back and forth here. Both teams taking each other a bit more seriously, because I feel like for a little bit there, Riot may have been underestimating the hand of death. It seemed to me Riot was just rolling over them those first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I would say the same there, but maybe the hand of death were just nervous on the first couple rounds. You do see that occasionally as well. More inexperienced teams will start off pretty slow and then slowly warm up, while more experienced teams will kind of do the opposite. They'll start pretty strong straight out the gate, and then they'll kind of start slowly tapering off as they run out of stamina.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a, it all comes in from practice. You know, you just got to keep getting in there and doing scrims and playing for long periods of time and working your stamina. And then, you know, when you come into a round, getting loose isn't so hard when you played for so long, because a lot of the stuff is muscle reflex. So it's just kind of, I don't know, literally warming up your body instead of warming up your reflexes.
Instead of warming up your soul, just warm up your muscles. That's the NightFiree motto.
Yeah. Do some jumping jacks.
And this is a bit of a dangerous objective. We have seen occasionally some newer teams just go straight through smokes everywhere on the objective and just cap inside in under 30 seconds. Considering the aggression we've seen earlier, I don't think that's out of the question.
They do seem to be sprinting up this middle lane pretty quick. Wow, Todd with an early pickoff. Charging forward, still another nade. He's trying to catch Jacob, and he does. The nade doesn't detonate in time, and Todd has just taken control of middle house.
Todd's absolutely dominating performance. The hand of death must have seen that coming. He's attempted it for the past 3 rounds in a row. They should have known. They should have been ready for that. They really should have.
Skeptical staying crouched. Unseen threat right on the other side here. I don't know what Skeptical was waiting for. He has some easy shots through the shrubs here on Unseen Threat.
He's throwing a nade over the bush.
He threw it too
He
far.
was, and it went way too far. Unseen is still oblivious to Skeptical.
Right, Zero over on the other side. Moving in on Xandria does get the pick. This is
The
rip.
objective is totally uncovered right now.
Yeah.
Skeptical can't see because of the smoke.
Patrick needs to stay down because Skeptical, oh, he's in a good spot, but Mobster's pad out. He's punching in the code. Smokes are going out onto him. Skeptical has to deny this or Riot's going to take the map 4-2.
I think that's what's going to happen here. Mobster is being a little bit of a slow capper here along with Riot. Zero. Logical goes down from Skeptical and he's looking for another.
It took 2 guys with the pad out and Zero to come in from the backside of Mobster. But Riot finally get themselves 2 points and take the map 4-2.
That was certainly an interesting one. I predicted it successfully. I would like to say that the curse seemingly has worn off.
Okay.
That was a successful prediction.
Okay.
I said they just smoke it out and go for the cap, and I was right. Unbelievable.
Respectable.
But Todd's been such a devastating force. He's got to carry this into the following maps.
Well, the question is, will he be able to? Let's think back on the pick bans. Tanker and Bazaar are down, so you know, if Hand of Death were smart, I think they'd pick into a longer range map like Downfall or Quarantine to sort of temper back the Todd early aggression that he's been showing off.
That would be the good move here, and we are loading into the second map so we can see what it is.
Well,
And it appears that that's not the case.
going the polar opposite of trying to get away from fast play and leaning into it instead. We'll be hopping into Cargo for our second map.
You know, I'm actually pretty sure that Riot wanted to take Cargo for the third map, but they've kind of been denied of that. They haven't played for the second, which I guess is good for them.
Yeah, it definitely is do or die. It's a best of 3 to win the series, and we do play all the maps, but, you know, solidifying that series definitely plays in effect going into that third map, so if Riot can take it here, they'll be, I mean, it's just, it's so much, there's a lot that factors into this winning the series and taking it early. You can get yourself a little bit more NMR than you may have been able to if you had tied.
And it makes it a lot more enjoyable for that final third map. You can kind of just relax. You can still play to your kind of utmost ability, but you don't have to worry about losing. You've got that win solidified. Solidified. You can just lean back, get the shots in, have a good time. Play it like a comp lobby.
Yeah.
A coordinated comp lobby.
Very coordinated. I don't think we're seeing any subs. No, we are.
Yeah, we are on the side of Riot.
Ronnie P coming in.
Then Ronnie P replaced. It was not the unseen threat.
It was Riot. Someone else had
Zero.
Riot in front of their name.
Yeah,
Zero, yes.
The captain.
Wow. He did. He had some good moves too. So interesting to see him step out for this map. Maybe after that first map win, they want to get more of their players some work, and definitely now, you know, now's the time because they can lose this map and still be in the series. You know.
Yeah. I think Riot's going to be feeling really good going into this. Just kind of watching the match from the bird's eye view, you can tell that Riot is pretty comfortable with how they've been playing. They started off strong the first 2 rounds. They did slip up. Maybe they got a little bit too relaxed. Started slouching on the following 2 rounds after that. But then they got the cap. It was nice and smooth. And they've made quite a few mistakes. I think they're going to try and exploit that going into this first round of Cargo.
I hate to put a lot of you know, highlight on one player, but it really does seem like if Todd can find those early picks for his team, they have a significantly better chance of doing of getting those wins. See him go down. I think he died early the 2 rounds they lost.
I think so. They definitely did on one at the very least. On Volk is probably not opt for the aggressive strategy. He appears to be trying to position himself on the objective.
They do get across that long lane pretty freely. A little trade here in the center. Urban Ghost in a bit of an exchange in this long tunnel. He's got the shield out. He's trying to toss a nade down. Just doesn't get it quite far enough.
Maybe a little bit of confrontation on the far east as Todd goes down. That's not a good pick for Riot to have experience. Iron Patrick is trying to smoke out the objective. I think he could be going for the cap.
Unseen Threat took out the shield user. Patrick finds Ronnie P over there in the smokes, and now that cap option is very, very viable. Riot needs to rotate around. They need to get Unseen Threat and Mobster a little bit closer to objective. Unseen Threat actually picking up the shield, charging in towards Xandria. Xandria tries to get around him and is denied. Unseen Threat rotates around and exposes his back to I Am Patrick, and we're into a 2v1.
Is Mobstar the last one left? He's a very solid player. I do expect he could be able to take down Skeptical here, which he certainly does. Now it's just Patrick and Mobstar on a 1v1, and it's only 1 minute 15 seconds in.
quite the quick round. Patrick finds the final kill and Hand of Death, slowing down the Riot momentum and kicking it off with a 1-point lead.
Very respectable. I'm not quite sure what went wrong for Riot there. I think their just Eastern defense totally collapsed. They lost the guy very early, but it was a perfect trade. It wasn't an advantage to either side.
They had it, but whoever had picked up the shield, I think it was Patrick.
Unseen. Unseen threat.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, unseen. He rotated around to drop back, and that's like if he had just stayed there tucked in behind his shield, he could have held that objective. But I don't think he was aware there was another 2 or 3 members inside that smoke.
Smoke, I think, was definitely the main factor there, because covering up that kind of blue container exit towards the objective and moving through there, that can be a really solid move. I do know a couple people that love to rush through there in the smoke and get the cap without anyone even realizing. But it's just a perfect pathway straight funneled towards the objective, and I wonder if Riot, as Todd in especially, are going to try and exploit that here.
Seeing a lot of clips coming in. The audience, I like to see that.
Always very good. It also makes producing the episode of VR Esporn a lot easier.
This one's coming in from Smithy SFC in chat. Smithy, thank you very much. This is that Xandria push up. He just killed Riot 0 and crashing in up through Tanker. Grabbed Unseen Ghost out in the or Unseen Threat out in the front yard, and then moved his way, tagging Mobster in the back. Surprised he was able to make all those moves and all those shots without getting detected, but a nice move from him regardless.
But we are in here, and I'm not seeing Todd head towards objective, so I guess they're going to try and do a frontal push straight through the center instead.
Bandit Urban crossing that main lane free of charge. C4 going up high. Andrea tossing it up on the wall there. Wow.
I've got to say, that nade was incredibly long range. All the way from the southwest, where Skeptical just died at the hands of Logical, all the way to the East Dark Shed. Beautiful.
Another nade coming in, long range, a bit too far. Can't follow up on that Unseen Thread and Mobster combo.
Some intense anger there from Jacob. Todd is just barreling through, though. He's not affected by it.
Yeah, well, maybe he should have slowed his roll. Patrick was waiting for him diligently and caught him out as he rotated around that corner.
This is looking like kind of the hand of death are being choked out by Riot here. It's very much the throat of death instead of the hand of death, because they're getting choked. You see the pun, yes?
Wow. Wow. You really
It's not a
worked.
great
You really
one,
worked
Bob,
for that one.
We are seeing Patrick with more shots onto Logical. He's really walking dead, but it may be him who goes down instead.
Unseen Threat trying to rotate in. Urban Ghost goes down the backside. Xander and Snake in a little bit of an exchange here through this grate. The C4 could take out Mobster right now, but I think he's going to hold on and wait just a little bit longer. Xandria dropping back. Ronnie P finds Patrick, and Xandria going down. Riot grabbed themselves around, tied it up 1-1.
Well, not entirely what I expected, but they did push through the center. They kind of they worked well like a wave. They had their guys move along, then they slowly collapsed in from the west side of the map before they kind of choked out the center where the objective was.
I think one thing I do notice is just the reaction time of teams to losing members seems to be a touch too slow. You know, I think that they need to rotate and relocate themselves a little bit faster when they lose team members. Like, they should have maybe just dropped back to a little more defensive positions instead of being so forward and up in that lane looking for kills. But it's always easy to say that when you're watching it from the sky, you know.
Bird's eye view is a big advantage, but rotation, kind of reaction speed is so important for preventing caps, for preventing exposed positions from getting taken down. It's I'd say the key thing you need to get up to the kind of high mid-tier area in the standings. If you want to get there, you need to have quick, nicely coordinated rotations.
We'll see if Hand of Death or Riot react well in these few remaining rounds. This is the second map, if you're just tuning in. Riot taking the first one on Suburbia with a map-winning cap 4-2. We're tied up on Cargo 1-1. Hand of Death trying to stay in there, hang into the series.
They are. There's some dinging coming out from Hand of Death.
And Mr. Jacob.
Feeling relaxed even after his untimely death last round. And he's got an early nade, I think. He's going to throw it out the second the wall's down. Waiting for it, that's for sure. You can see him looking at his watch.
Todd comes around, charging in hot and heavy. Gets punished. Patrick waiting for that move. We'll see now if Riot suffer like they have been when they lose Todd early.
Oh, nade on objective is going to take out Ronnie P.
Oh my gosh.
Also, Logical goes down. What a beautiful nade from Jacob there.
Riot quickly find themselves in a 3v4. Was a 2v4 for a brief second there, but the res comes out. Ronnie P trying to frag out towards Patrick. And a couple of shotgun blasts trying to keep Jacob tucked in. Jacob comes crashing in around the corner. He finds Ronnie. Can he find another inside? He's in the backside of Mobster. Mobster's abandoned the defense. Jacob could cap right now. He has to get closer to objective. He can't cap from inside. He's waiting for Mobster to come around. One hand shoots him with his MP5.
The MP5, the weapon nobody uses ever, has been finally useful to Jacob here.
Unseen Threat with another nice clutch shot there, getting Patrick as he tries to cross over towards objective. And Jacob here still tucked in.
He's being so patient with this. I would have already rushed out by now.
Like,
but it might work out. Unseen's rotating to the far west.
You also might not be inside this building at 4.5 minutes.
Very true.
So early to be in here. Unseen Threat. Wow. Challenges Jacob around the corner. Picks him off. Jacob's still resable, and Unseen Threat just leaves him there.
There's some coordination issues with the Hand of Death here. Zandra is on the other side of the map. Well, he was inside the objective building, really. But Unseen's also playing so aggressively, he has no need to run out like this. And just Zandra's going to demolish him with his P90.
What is going on this round? Some odd weapon choices. Some interesting one-handed... wow. That was a round as the Hand of Death take the lead 2-1.
I feel like we're watching like some kind of alternate reality Onward where people use MP5s and P90s.
Hey,
Just never see them used. The P90, it does shoot pretty quick and the recoil is kind of manageable, but it's so awkwardly shaped that you don't see people using it much. And the MP5 is the MP5, so nobody uses it.
he killed that guy with one hand pretty good. I wonder if maybe we start to see a MP5 shield combo start to come out. I feel like the shield is pretty much solidified with the laser pistol, though. That seems to be the prime choice if you're going to opt in for a shield. Surprisingly, which
G17.
we haven't seen a shield yet this round on Cargo.
Cargo, yeah, and
no, we did,
Suburbia,
yes.
but this is kind of the main thing. Well, no, we saw it on Suburbia, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we did see it earlier round.
Yeah, in that.
Yeah, of course.
In the round 1.
Didn't use the laser pistol with it.
Right.
They go just solo pistol, hope for the best. And they didn't have any backup either. You always see high-level teams that use shields always have a guy behind the shield user. Kind of, they communicate, they try and pop up the shield, shoot the guy in front, duck back down, use the shield just as an advancing combat shield.
Still early in the map, only 2-1. We'll see if Riot break out any strategies like that. And does look like the shield is coming out from Ronnie.
Whatever. If you're better at staying alive than I am, I'll give you the nade.
Does appear to that Todd may be linking up with Ronnie with the LMG. That's a very strong combo. The M249 and a shield moving through tunnel. That's no joke.
Alrighty, you want to shoot it?
C4 on the ground there. Todd taking a couple rounds towards it, hopefully denying that from exploding on them and ending their lives. And he didn't.
There's no way. I fucking shot that shit.
And it insta-kills the shield user and Todd is down. He thought he disarmed it by shooting it, but apparently not. He's not happy
I mean,
with it
I was watching it and I didn't see the shots 100% land on the C4, so I would have been a little bit more skeptical. Mobster does rotate around, gets the res. Unseen Threat has negotiated his way up into this middle area. Xandria in a real common spot. I'm surprised Unseen Threat doesn't check that. He gets picked up. Skeptical finds two. Xandria picking up one through the side, and Riot dropped down to one remaining member.
Logical left alone on the eastern side against 5. A full roster of Hand of Death.
Ugh. A full hand.
Oh, if he pulls something off, he deserves like some kind of award for it.
He has got a full hand.
It's even worse than mine. Unbelievable. Kind of eerie silence has descended.
Everybody just waiting.
Random flashes as well.
And I mean, they could be waiting for a long time. Logical has 4 minutes to work with.
He could prone towards the objective if he so desired.
Oh yeah, he could prone all the way there. You're right. Xandria would probably catch him
several
out.
Times. Probably Patrick as well.
Maybe also Jacob. A lot of
possibly also skeptical.
There's a lot of people alive.
They going towards objective though.
Trying to
nosing.
Float it towards Patrick, and he does catch him out. Goes inside, but Patrick radioing all this in, and now Jacobs has an eye drawn onto that doorway. It's going to be real hard to get out of here.
You got him.
So far, this map has been disastrous for Riot and very, very good for the Hand of Death. I honestly thought Riot could pull it off. We've just not seen the same kind of aggression from Todd as we did in the earlier rounds, and we know how important that was for Riot, because pretty much every round they won, it was because of Todd's early double kill, early pick, things like that.
Right.
Even if he lost his life, it was just so big, because the center house is such an important spot that locking it off from the opposing team by just suiciding into it can be a very viable tactic.
Yeah, I mean, look at the KD, 1 and 4. He's been a bit ineffective in comparison to that Suburbia round, and I mean that happens, you know. That's why this game is such a fantastic team game, but it also is a fun esport to watch because it can allow for those standout moments of single players. But everyone, more often than not, everybody has to show up if you want to have a chance of taking the rounds. You can look at the Hand of Death's lineup and the score. This KD looks a bit more spread there.
It does. Exception of Vermago's kind of letting his teammates do the work. Maybe we'll see some more of him on a larger map, maybe, depending on what it is. We could see Quarantine, or we could see Subway, maybe. That'd be weird, but we could see it.
I mean, it was picked already this been picked already this season.
Bye. I must have missed that match.
Uh-huh. It was an interesting one. It was definitely highlighted that teams have been practicing it. Like the two rookie teams that played it had definitely practiced it. They had strategies for certain locations, and exciting, man. I'm looking forward to some high level Subway play, to be honest.
We'll be very excited to see. We don't see Subway really played even after the changes, because people are kind of a little bit too scared to play it still. They're not really comfortable with it. They haven't really played it in comp lobbies. Or at least even when the changes came out, you didn't really see many people taking it.
Todd getting up in here early, goes down. Not what Riot need. Jacob will confirm that kill, but he gets refragged from Logical, who's in a proned Interesting corner. Back over. Can't hear you, Bucks. I'm watching the shield, and it's just a lot of noise.
Just constant LNG fighting.
Yeah.
We are thinking there's Unseen also goes down from Skeptical. Another Ghost is ready into a nade here. This could be very solid.
Logical in that corner finds himself another. Ronnie P trying to suppress Urban Ghost as he pushes up here. Mobster now getting a little aggressive, and he goes down from the laser-sighted pistol. Ronnie P tries to get the res. He goes down from the remaining two of Hand of Death, and they're into a 2v1. Was about to say 3v1, but the shield bearer goes down. Logical tucked into this corner has been devastating. Nobody knows he's there.
It's not a very, very common position with Xandra and Patrick locked in the same room together.
Yikes.
It's pretty much game over. And did Zarin just smoke out the building? Yes, he did. I suppose he's hoping it'll work outside the building.
Logical
Certainly did not there.
has this locked up as he just keeps holding on to this doorway. He has all the time in the world. 4 minutes. He's going to rotate out. Patrick does see him rotate. And now we're off into a 1v1. We'll see what Patrick does. He has to get outside, and he does. I wonder what information Urban Ghost was able to radio into Patrick there.
Imagine he did manage to get off that he was inside of this building here. Patrick should definitely be aware, but...
Could you imagine a sneak cap
I saw him
here?
through the gap.
The nade coming?
The nade from Logical. Yeah. Not enough.
Wow, he just hit the corner of the wall. Peeks around, and Patrick finds a Hand of Death. Grab the map, and we're into a real-time ball game as we go into the map decider, the series decider, sorry.
Indeed we are, and we do have Downfall Quarantine Subway. What we're going to see, maybe Subway, because the lower tier teams do tend to pick kind of oddball maps like Subway or Tanker. But maybe they will go for the more orthodox decision of like Quarantine or Downfall. That'll be a safe one. It'll kind of deny Todd of being Todd.
Now, we have a new, I mean, I guess not new, but there is a ranking system, right? The stars. So I think we got to start, when we talk about like teams, we got to be like, we're watching a silver match or a gold match right now, you know? Because there's bronze, silver, gold, and master tier in the standings on the Master League site.
We also have Diamond now. That was a new one that was introduced for this season. Diamond, I believe, is below Master. Master is still the very top.
I think we're looking at is this a silver matchup?
I believe it would be a silver matchup. Let me just double check on the standings here. It may in fact be a bronze matchup. Hand of Death is bronze and Riot is silver, so it's a silver-bronze matchup.
Those rankings,
Bronze
obviously, too, not really terribly reflective of what could be the team's, you know, skill set right now.
It'll be updated once they finish their placements.
Yeah, right. And then we got to start using those. You know, hey, we're going to be watching a gold match today. We're tuning into a master series. So then I think we can stop saying like whatever. We'll talk about it later. But it is something that's in the league that we don't talk about much, and there are actual rankings.
There are. It's taking a little bit of time to get this kind of map chosen. Maybe there are some technical difficulties again on the side of Riot. We can see Todd's dropped out.
Wonder if they'll be doing a sub, maybe bringing in Zero.
Possibly. I guess they're putting a lot of faith in old Ronnie P. Maybe he's just maybe the main for the team and it's actually Todd, or maybe it's possible Zero, who was the sub-in for this match, and Ronnie P is actually the main roster. That is possible. Sometimes you do see kind of weird roster arrangements like that. I will try and find out what has happened with the man Todd here, see if we can get some information. Either it's a technical difficulty or what is going on here.
I think we can take a look at a few more clips from the crowd. This one coming in from Dr. Leo Marvin, highlighting a very nice blind fire from Logical. I don't know how he knew he was there, but that pinpoint accurate blind fire picking up Mr. Jacob around the corner. Very nicely done.
Was indeed. It does appear that we are into this third and final map, NightFiree.
Don't say. What's it gonna be? Let's take a look. It is Downfall.
I'd say that's expected, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised they didn't pick Quarantine instead. I think Quarantine is favored by pretty much every team more than Downfall. It's a little bit, it has a couple more options, because with Downfall it's so open that there's only 3-4 max pathways for any given objective, any given spawn. There's not really too much you can do just due to how open it is. But Quarantine, with its kind of mix of tight spaces and long angles, that can give you significantly more options for any kind of movements you wish to do.
We're talking about how Todd on a map like this may not be the best choice considering how fast he plays, and they have subbed him out, right? Zero coming in, Ronnie P staying in, and Unseen Threat, Mobster, and Logical making up the rest of Riot.
So predictions were correct then. Surprised that we're not seeing any subs from the Hand of Death here. They want to try and be an all-rounder team rather than having specific players that can operate operate very well on specific maps. Because some teams do like to do it, they have their specialists for specific maps, but it's a double-edged sword. If they're missing and you play that specific map, it can be very bad, but if they are, it can work out so well. It really just depends on what kind of availability your team has to know if it's a good option for you or not.
The map, the series decider, though. This is it on Downfall, and you know, we watched I feel like Downfall has evolved a little bit in terms of the meta playstyle. I feel like teams don't like to linger around too much anymore. I feel like we're still probably going to get some 6-7 minute rounds, but might see some
7 minutes. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, 7 minute rounds too.
It could happen. The game somehow.
And we are underway. Downfall firing up with a pretty quick spawn for Riot. See how they utilize it, if they decide to charge up the middle or go for some longer rotations.
Yeah, this is a solid one. Probably my favorite spawn for any objective ready. You got the nice quick sideline, lots of options. Either south, north, or straight through, you can do it all. We may see some early picks coming out from Zero here. It's definitely a possibility, but the Hand of Death's been pretty aggressive with their defense. I think it's going to work out well for them.
Zero is super exposed to Jacobs here if he rotates into a bit more of a aggressive position and peaks that 3-story. I don't think he will. He's going to stay tucked in. And Zero's raiding in info to his team that could cost them their lives.
That's not ideal, but it appears this is kind of a meta offense from Riot here. You've got one guy in the north watching any rotators that could go towards objective during the final push. You've got Riot doing the main overwatch over the center of the map. Then you have the 3 main attack force coming from south and coming through the west.
Zero's managed to get into a pretty decent position where he can really dump some suppressive fire onto a couple of the Hand of Death's locations here. Jacob, though, has slowed up that Riot push over in the ravine. He peeked out there and took a couple of shots from that middle 3-story.
And interestingly, it's the guy in the north, Logical, on the side of right. He has a sniper, so he's the kind of main Overwatch here.
Not sure where that made.
Questionable nade,
Yeah.
Kind of just straight out into the open. Nades on downfall, kind of useless, even on Marsok. Volk, not really too useful. It's too long range to really send them anywhere, with the exception of a quick spawn. But that was a very nice pick from Mr. Jacob there onto Mobstar, and also from Skeptical onto the unseen threat.
Oh, I totally forgot that Skeptical has the angle here from Blackhawk and is also watching this south push. He is vulnerable to Zero and a nice nade. Logical picking up Urban Ghost is good for that north side push. Zero is super exposed though. He'll be going down. Skeptical making quick work of him. Riot now into a 2v4.
2v4. And not many people take this burning helicopter anymore. Once the fire was introduced, people vacated this heli like it was dangerous or something. Well, it is dangerous, but it's still a very good plan to sit outside of it like Skeptical is doing right now, or even do a caltrop maneuver where you will lie down on top of the bolt action.
Logical here trying to find some Overwatch shots. Ronnie P finding himself a pick. Now it's a 2v3.
Down.
Just slowly whistling them away, but the guy in the southwest can't kind of move towards the center hotel reasonably soon. I'm kind of feeling that they might actually run out of time, even though they kind of could do a final push right now, though it wouldn't be ideal.
Skeptical's position is really good. I mean, that Blackhawk is still a strong position. I mean, it's a risky position for Volk. If anybody just wanted to take some rounds and dump them over there towards that side of that Blackhawk, they're going to catch him. But it's also super camouflaged.
It does appear that they may be trying to play these Marsok rounds slow. We haven't really seen them do anything quick, or even a semblance of something quick, so I think their kind of play style, their main idea for how to play Downfall during this map is just going to be play it nice and slow, not really do anything too risky, just ensure that they do take this third and final map and don't give the whole match to the hand of death.
Ooh, Skeptical could be exposed here if Ronnie decides to take a little gander over towards Blackhawk. Oh, he doesn't.
I swear they looked at each other a few times there.
Smokes from Logical aren't enough to get him across. Xandria picks him off, and Ronnie instantly goes down to Skeptical at the Blackhawk. And a Death continue to ride their own momentum and now take the lead 1-0.
A good lead to get starting off, but if they continue the kind of pace and the energy that we saw on the Cargo, this could be going to another 1-4 like we saw there. And I don't think Riot will be especially happy about that.
Maybe Riot here just need to refocus. You know, just focus on this round. I mean, you're really able to let go that last map. You know, you lost it, but you didn't lose the series. You know, so this one still matters just as much as the rest of the series has, and you know, maybe that is playing an effect. I find most times that the pressure helps me focus up a little bit more.
It really depends on the kind of player you are. Some it can help quite dramatically. They can do those snapshot, others it can kind of make things all fall apart. The heart beats slightly too quickly and end up firing at your own teammate. Sometimes it can just depend on the kind of day it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you would do one, sometimes the other. Like a Thunder Pilot at OC5, resurrecting the enemy. I want to make sure nobody ever forgets that.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah. That's true, man. When the pressure's on and the chaos is thick, some real interesting stuff can happen. Some players do well with it, and you're right, others don't. We'll see if Riot can do well under the pressure. It is series map here, so they need to get on the board. They need to keep things close and grab their Volk round. And to see some pretty savvy smokes there to allow them to cross. That's a really great smoke that allows that cross.
Yeah, that is pretty solid. Maybe it could do with being like on top of the building just on the corner, but I think that'd be a pretty much impossible smoke to get off correctly.
Unseen Threat finding an early pick, exactly what they need to kick things off, and handed death into a 4v5 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left.
They're towards the center on the hill. Left side of the
Solid
APC.
so far, and they're doing a standard 2-2-1. The other one is now deceased. The two's going south, the other two's sitting up north. This is a good offense, I find. It works out pretty often, though. Losing the one guy, definitely not ideal. It'd be better to have him do what Zero did last round. Just sit by the APC, look over towards center, and just keep an eye on things. Suppress the buildings that need to be suppressed. And all that goes with that.
They
Seems
have.
that the Zandra and Urban Ghost up in this northeast side are kind of just discussing amongst themselves. Seems that the all-day safely moving down to the red truck, but is under heavy fire.
A lot of LMG fire going out there from Zero, trying to suppress down the north push. South is coming in as well. That may be drawing his attention. I was just kind of talking that the south defense from Riot is a little bit weak. They really don't have too many eyes. Unseen Threat
Got one guy.
does catch
building
Urban
past
on the north.
red truck. I got him down. I can't double tap him though.
And I'm waiting for maybe Logical to find himself a pick as the south approach starts to work its way up.
South approach is going to be the important one. I find it interesting that they've split up though. Patrick and who is that there? Skeptical. Pretty dramatically, it's not going to work out well. See, Logical just picked him off long range from the northwest. If they were grouped up, that wouldn't have happened because Skeptical was already across safe.
More shots from Logical as he finds the other south member and handed death into a 1v5. So a nice answer back from Riot. Should be securing themselves this round unless they really mess up.
Zandra is looking for the revive to Urban Ghost. Urban Ghost really wants to get revived here, and Zandra might be able to follow through. The shots are coming in pretty hot and heavy. Smoke is here, and he is healing. That's a syringe down. He's now only a few hits from death. Here's that the guy in the center hotel, that being Zero, has actually backed off and decided to not put more shots over towards Zandra, which I find is a little bit of a misplay. And that's going to allow Zandra to move down to Urban Ghost and get that revive, assuming the Unseen Threat cannot get him through the window. But Logical clutches it with, where is Logical? It appears, in the northwest, of course. He does pick him off there. Takes him down the red truck, and that's a round taken back by Riot. It does appear we're seeing a little bit of a Volk trading here, which I suppose is the kind of standard thing you'd see on Downfall. You get a Volk round, then another Volk round. Marsoc on Volk and large maps overall is pretty tough. It's easier on Quarantine than it is on Downfall, but they're both pretty difficult compared to, say, Bazaar or Suburbia or Cargo, which is very straightforward Cargo. I suppose it's also a bit of a difference between the two teams, like less experienced EU teams might prefer Downfall and Quarantine rather than they would prefer smaller maps, which can be faster paced, and EU is mostly a slower paced team, but these teams are definitely not doing too hot on these larger maps, so they definitely like their small ones.
Yeah, and I think the I don't know, I feel like there's maybe just a little element missing on the defensive sides for both teams. Maybe it's I think it comes back to that ability to rotate effectively if you lose people, or react accordingly off of having an early death. But I don't know. This round the defenses do seem a little bit tighter to me. I feel like the last on Suburbia and Cargo defenses were kind of loose. You know, people going down early, not really people diligently holding angles. Lots of risky rotations, I should say. So you don't really get the opportunity to do that very much on Downfall. Once you take your positions, you're locked in. Maybe that will lead to these bulk trades. We'll see. Riot, do you get a fast spawn?
Are we watching a Blaze match? Because Ronnie P, I feel, is emulating Nalco here with the shield on Downfall. And for this particular spawn.
That was interesting. Did you see him throw that smoke? It bounced off his shield.
That was a hell of a smoke too. That's perfectly placed.
Logical.
He's going straight through. Logical with the early pick too.
Wow. Hand of Death. A huge mistake there as they tried to push into some early defensive positions, and that quick spawn costing them 2 members. And now Ronnie P here has a perfect line of sight onto Patrick and another Mr. Jacobs, and smokes are coming in. Ronnie's taking control of a very forward position. Yikes, Hand of Death are in trouble.
He could actually go for a cap right now if he so desires. You can see Zero rushing straight in. He might be trying to go for one.
See how fast he shot that pistol? Maybe it was a little lag on my end or something, but a rapid fire.
It's possible. Zero's going for the cap though. Patrick knows he's got the nade out. He's throwing it.
He's throwing it over near Mobster. Unseen Threat has taken Xandria out. Oh no! A flashbang onto Jacob! Has him blinded, and then he finally finds Zero on the right at his feet.
That's so unfortunate. If Mobstar hadn't moved up like that, Zero could have capped that. He really could have. They wouldn't have known he was there. But Mobstar totally gave the game away, potentially losing this round for Riot.
And we have a disconnect for Riot. Everything going wrong for them as they're into a 2v2. They lost their shield user.
Now they do still have at least Unseen Threat very far up still. They really need Logical to move forward and support him. And what is the member of Xandria up there? He's already
dead.
down. But Unseen's going for the cap here. And he do it from
can't
the
get
other
it
side
here.
of the wall. Well, Xandria's called out Unseen.
Has he?
They know. Yeah, he does. I heard the call out from Jacob. But Unseen's
He's
going for it,
punching
he
in the
doesn't care.
code!
There's no way they can allow
The
this.
call-out's not there! An Unseen Threat caps right in front of him and finishes it off. Riot take the lead 3-1.
I know you were talking about holes in defense, NightFiree, but
Well, you know, I was also saying that once these guys get into position, they're set and they stay locked in, and that's why the defenses are stronger on this map. But right away they lost too because they weren't set, and then they could never get set into their positions, and it just was downhill from there.
that's why flexibility is very important. If something goes wrong, you
Right.
as a player need to know the decision making to how to just work off of that, devise some kind of new position, some new plan. That is something you pick up just with raw experience. It's not something you can really train. Definitely something that newer teams struggle with, that's for certain. And being only 1 season old, I think the Hand of Death definitely qualifies as a newer team.
Yeah, very true. But they have been doing well, you know. They've been staying in there, and I don't expect them to be counted out quite yet, although, you know, they are going to have to capitalize on a mistake from Riot here if they want to have a chance at capping this. But I don't know, dude. This objective, I feel like we see, is capped on the most.
It feels like, yeah, that corner is a real dangerous one. And you can also cap from the rock there if you just like prone down, extend your hand. No team likes playing this, I don't think. It's just risky.
Man. What a great move from Unseen. A real risky one, and it takes Riot into a very strong lead. They could take the series if they can hold on here. Hand of Death not getting that same fast spawn that Riot had, so we'll see how they work with it.
Just trying to stay close to objective.
It's a very bad spawn in my opinion. I'm never a fan of it. The far northeast spawn, take it out of the game. I hate it. You can't go towards the southeast. You can't cross over towards the west. You've got to struggle with smokes.
You know, they do have the ability to rotate east and take control of that east hill and be kind of pushing down onto this objective, and it might be the right move. The defense is super focused towards objective. I don't know, this could work out for Hand of Death. We'll see what Logical can do and what sort of damage he inflicts as he works up to the top of this hill.
Very little apparently. He could have got a double kill or a triple kill there, but he just collapses the second a bullet hits his chest. At least the Riot has the
Up at that
information.
spot I'm going
This
to,
is
there's
not
a guy.
good. They need someone to try to rotate back over towards the side and reinforce it. You can't afford to give up the south and the east on this objective. It doesn't work out well at all, because once they get to the south, they go to the white building, and inside the objective, that's boom. That's Ronnie, that's Mobstar, that's probably Riot as well. Zero actually. That's a triple kill, and the objective is open. It's bad news.
Information is still getting radioed in by Logical there. He's down, but has a pretty good line of sight up over that hill. They really need to confirm him off and stop this relay, and there it is. But I mean, no rotations from this. They're just going to let that south get taken over.
Yeah, that's really surprising.
They can't rotate either, though. They're at this point. Xandria could grab him from that second story as he does find Riot trying to get some shots off into that smoke.
These smokes are on point. They're so long range from the Hand of Death here. That was by Patrick way up in the southeast, throwing it pretty much with the red truck on the far southwest.
Jeez Louise, Hand of Death. They're picking off Riot members left and right. Only 3 remain in defense, 2 of them on objective. And it's going to be bad news if Skeptical and the rest of this squad. Patrick rotate along the south ravine.
Oh, and the disconnect from Riot as well. Now it's a 2v4. It's just getting even worse for them as the seconds go by.
I think the disconnect came post-death.
It didn't. It came from a guy on the objective. Now it's just one
right.
guy, Mobstar.
It's coming up the valley.
Oh, that is very sad to see, though. They still do have the big advantage.
Flashbang coming out, trying to stunt this push. Not going to be quite too effective, and about to be very exposed to Skeptical while peeking up over this hilltop.
Yeah, he's got to get inside very quickly. And it's Urban Ghost planning on proning all the way to the objective, then tablet in hand, getting it just from the corner where that kind of blue jerry can is.
He is prone. Pad's not out yet. He's actually crouched right now.
Like
Now he's prone. There's the pad. He's on the corner. He's by the blue. Suppression's coming out from Skeptical onto objective. This could be the answer back from Hand of Death. The disconnect. The early picks. He peeks out a little more. Mobster doesn't see him here. Unseen threat suppressing his own. No, he kills Mr. Jacob finally. Wow.
I guess you can't just about cap from that corner. He had to go a little bit further. That's heart-wrenching. He was so close and yet so far. And the rest of the Hand of Death is still up in the south and the southeast. Not there to back him up.
Very fortunate they grabbed that prone capper there. And yeah, I mean,
Smokes on objective, that could have been it.
I thought it was it. You know, I thought just at the edge there you could be punching it in, but you had to get a little bit closer to enter it. This is going to be real hard for Mobstar, the way he's been rotating around. Skeptical does come out, though. Super exposes himself to trade here. Both of them run out of ammo?
I guess so. What? They just both walked away from it. They decided to drop their guns and have like a football match in the middle of the war field.
A minute left.
And Mobstar could potentially take down both here. He's in an unorthodox position. He's going to see Patrick. He whiffs the shots totally. This could end very badly, but there's 50 seconds. He just needs to wait.
Patrick now exposed on the edge. Catches him. Sorry, Skeptical there. Picking off Mobstar and Hand of Death. They're not rolling over. They're staying in. This is the series deciding map. They're not going to let the series be decided just yet.
Very true indeed. 44 seconds. He could have just sat back and waited. Like kind of maybe stood a little bit further back and just kept his eye on the corner where Skept on the far south might have come out from the ravine on the far west. If he just stood there and waited, he could have been pretty safe. And missing the shot onto Mr. Jacob as well was very, very bad. That he could have definitely cleaned up there if he went around the other side of the building for taking down Jacob. It's just the small mechanical mistakes costing them that round.
You're just tuning in. You've arrived at the final point. The last map, the series decider. So far, Riot, actually it's a tie game, 8-8 total score.
Reasonably evened up 4-1. Well, 4-2 on the first map, 1-4 on the second one, now 3-2.
It's been a fun series so far. Some real interesting plays, some very clutch plays. High intensity caps and
high intensity fail caps.
yeah, too.
There are some more tech issues from Riot here. They are bringing in Unseen Threat again, seems to be reconnected. There are still some issues with who was the remaining member, Ronnie P. Maybe they're bringing in Todd again, but there's potentially final round.
That would be an interesting choice, you know, because just like in a, oh wow, they're bringing him in. Maybe the connection issues were an issue for Ronnie there. I'm not sure if he was the one that was dropping or not, but either way, Todd's come in to a very high pressure situation. And it's not exactly the easiest. I mean, you know, I always like to compare this to real sports, and it's kind of like coming in the last inning of a baseball game, or the last 2 minute for the 2 minute drill. A lot of pressure is put on you, and you have to perform well. And we'll see if Todd can step it up here, because that last round, I think he was 1-5.
Was. Maybe after he's had his break, watch the stream over. Going to be bringing in some information from what he saw during the cast. That's always a very nice tactic to use.
Yep.
It gives you the information, the overhead view. You can see how the enemy team is moving. But it still does mean you have to have a guy sitting out, waiting, watching the game, and ready to hop in at a moment's notice. That's not the easiest for every scheduler. Every scheduler on the team, it's always hard to work that out.
I guess we will see just how this substitution works out as Riot go on the offensive. This is round number 5. Sorry, round 5. Round 4?
Round 6?
No, there's a cap.
Yes, this is round 4 then. We can agree on that.
Okay.
The fire coming off there. They wanted to get the guy on the White House. The Skeptical fire from the west dumps that could take down Todd, but he gets away just in time. Oh, strange nades thrown for no particular reason from the objective, just into the middle of the map.
I mean, maybe he's trying to get a really far, like, snap sort of toss. I don't know, you know.
I guess he's just one nade is better than no nade thrown, right? There's at least a chance.
I guess.
Not right here. Nice.
So far, there hasn't been much movement on the side of Riot here. They're playing it slow again. Nobody wants them to do too much movement too quickly. They just want to get their picks. They want to deal with Mr. Jacob inside their center hotel before they do anything on the west. And on the eastern hand side, they just appear to be waiting for something. I'm unsure as to what that is. But they definitely don't seem too keen on going straight in.
The LMG is 249 is so loud.
By the bungalow. You good hotel?
Really is.
I cannot confirm or deny my count. I just shot at him. I do not know my
They know
At
mobsters
least
and
we're no longer.
oh god.
At least we're no longer in the days where firing the LMG for too long would turn your FPS to approximately 2 per day. Those were rough times. You went deaf and you just vomited as well.
It's the ultimate suppression fire.
Do you think I can get across the
It is. It's the true suppression feature of Onward.
Mr. Jacob, actually Urban Ghost, the one that's going to find the first kill. I thought Jacob may
There's one in Marsoc
may
Tower,
catch
right
one
side.
out, but Urban.
He's going to soon.
Ooh, there it is. Todd
One
tried to
down
come
center hotel,
sprinting
there's
in,
more
and
coming, though, 'cause that's not
it's
the
just
whole
interesting to me
249.
the sprint gameplay style does work, but at the same time, there's audio. You know, you're giving away yourself. Maybe if you had crouched up along that corner, it could have been a little bit more stealth. Skeptical finds Zero now behind the wall, and I'm not sure what the proper option is to get out of this situation, because apparently sprinting into the room is not right, and crouching will only get them killed.
But they got to use their smokes, which they are doing right here. And I'd like to say, Zero got absolutely nailed to the wall by Zandra at the church there. I saw his body flying across, and at least the revive came off though, because Jacob was instantly picked off. The second he started moving, and Mobstar also picked up on the southeast. Riot is back in full force.
Yeah, they're looking good. 4v4. They salvaged
Hotel's
those
clear, he's got
picks.
hotel.
And gonna be moving in towards objective pretty soon. A trade up on the hill.
Okay, I've just realized NightFiree. If Unseen can take down Zandra as Riot goes down, if Unseen just take up Zandra, he has to draw for the cap. The other two won't be able to really get to the objective in time.
Skeptical's here. I don't know. Patrick's basement. He could pad out right now. Oh, the shots come in, and Zandra. You're right. If he had taken him, he could have been right at the objective punching in the code, but no dice. And Riot now on their last limb, their last thumb.
It's a good thumb, though. He's in a good position to get ready for this. He knows where Zandra is, but he's not popping off the shots. He's going to get spotted. How he has not seen him yet, I do not understand. Zandra's seen him, though, and there goes Logical. Pummeled by Zandra's bullets. I'm not sure how he didn't see him, but now they're all tied up for the final match point.
I also realized I got my memes mixed up because he wanted it to, you know, it was hand of death. It was supposed to be hand of death in the last thumb, but it was, you know, they had 3 left. So anyway, we're tied up. It's 3-3. I'm looking at the score, the overall score, and it is a 1-point difference here.
It's been a close one overall, except for the first 2 maps, which went dominating to one side and then the other.
Suburbia was back and forth, though. It started off Riot 2-0, then Hand of Death came back, and then that cap to win it. I think Cargo was just sort of, I don't know, Cargo was interesting.
Argo Riot just kind of flopped over.
Yeah. And now we're tied up, and they've been competing well. These guys are going at it. They're using every little ounce of their technical ability to try and get this MMR boost. And I mean, frankly, if you lose this series, you know, you can't be that upset because you're not going to lose that much MMR. You kept it close.
Yeah, absolutely. So regardless of the outcome, they're going to be reasonably happy about it. But you never know how the MMR system works. Does it go by the maps? Does it go by the overall score? It's a mystery. Only Dakin knows.
It's true.
Secrets of the MMR. It's like some kind of trophy. It's got like a stone pressure plate. You've got to swap it off with something of the same weight. The jungler trap.
We'll never know, man. And that's just a
We'll
fact
never
we
know.
have to accept as we go in to the final round with a quick spawn for Hand of Death.
This quick spawn could be very good. I don't think anyone on Riot is paying attention to the far east side. Nobody's even looking over there. Riot 0 is going to go towards the white building, it seems. Well, no, it's just the east dumpster. So if the Hand of Death can move quick, they could take Riot off by surprise. But they're kind of just standing around in spawn.
Kind of taking their time.
Oh, I see.
What is Jacob doing
I see
there?
what's going on. He's firing up in the air to try and give the wrong spawn. That's the plan here. That's why they're moving slowly. The plan is to kind of fake them out, make them believe it's a northeast spawn, when in reality, it's a south spawn. But the plan's blown. A smoke has gone off in the far south.
And now the shots ring out from the hill, and nobody going down. So maybe that noise in the north. Yeah, you look at the rest of the mini. You look at the mini map, and everybody's directed their attention south here.
There's still two guys in the center hotel. That one of them and the other one occasionally looking north. So not quite a full ride for Mr. Jacob, as Mr. Jacob I think was just spotted there by Todd inside the center hotel. There was some shots exchanged.
Skeptical is trying to work his way up here. I think that Riot's defense is ready for this. Logical finds one there in the south, but now he's getting pushed. Riot, Todd gets shot in the back. Trades go out and we're into a 3v3. Looks like Xandria picked up Logical. No, Mobster.
Very nice pick. Where's that third member? He's way in the two-story, the complex in the southeast. I've not called it complex in a very long time. The twin, what are they called? On Downfall, these twin buildings. I've somehow forgotten this NightFiree. This is
What?
concerning.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I am unsure which ones you're referencing. Unseen Threat picking off Skeptical from the basement. Mobster getting caught out by I Am Patrick, and we're into a 2v2.
Remember, it is the Marsok buildings, north and south.
Oh,
Marsok.
yeah.
Some reason I totally forgot the name there, but the smoke's coming up from Patrick, and they're solid smokes too.
How many
That is
of
pretty
them
much
left?
perfectly in the window, or at least the expansion of the smoke will block them.
Alright, I'm kind of stuck in the valley. Where should I try and get to?
But what is
man, just use
Ghost
micro
plan
turret
here?
cover and
Doing the
hold them off.
rotation, rotated again, now it's rotating back towards the north.
Unseen Threat. Yeah, I don't know what that rotation is on
valley.
the north here, because south
I think the
is
front side.
just kind of distracting. I wonder if they're going to try and send him all the way around. He has 2.5 minutes left. They could send him all the way around and try and come in from the front side of objective. That's what Unseen Threat was calling out.
That would be wild.
Ooh.
And
Got
that's
the
the
other guy
only
in valley.
choice now. Not sure why Patrick decided to push out like that. He just needed to sit back and wait.
All up to Urban Ghost. The series
And he's sneaking.
is on the line here.
Series is ethereal and it's desperately looking for a way towards the objective. And that pathway around the west is now not possible, as Zero is in a very unorthodox position by the dumpster.
Wonder if Ghost spots him here. He's looking right at him. He goes to
he's
shoot!
out of ammo. His gun went click. Oh no. Does he have any left?
I was going to say, if Zero gets the frag right there, that would have been such an unfortunate mishap for Urban, but he does pick him off. And we're into a 1v1, minute 30 on the clock.
Really wants to make sure that Zero is dead here, throwing a nade as well. He's running out of time. There's only a minute 30 left on the clock. Another nade kind of goes sideways there. What is Urban Ghost's plan as he approaches the objective rapidly? Managed to get pretty far up here. He hasn't been spotted yet by Unseen Threat. I think a cap is out of the question here. I don't know about you, NightFiree, but I don't think it's possible without Unseen realizing. Maybe Urban Ghost has something up his sleeve still.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he can cap. Could he cap? He could cap on the corner, couldn't he?
He could now. He could. Unseen won't be able to see him if he's proning like this.
He's not going to go pad out,
between
though.
the two spots. No, he can't. He's going to go inside the building, I reckon. Now's the best time to go.
Oh, Unseen's going to peek. He comes around and picks him off. Riot. Take the series. The relief swears from Unseen Threat as they grab that final round and go up 4-3.
It's been a very, very tradey map for this final one here. 4-3 going to Riot, and they do take that, but really by the skin of their teeth. That could have gone either way. The Hand of Death could have gotten one of their wins here and gone a very good way for the start of the season.
Wow. That's a great way to end week 1 of season 7, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, yes. It's been pretty good focusing on the kind of smaller teams here. There's a lot of gold that's been uncovered, the diamonds and the rough, quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally talking about the ranking system is very true. I think some of these teams are capable of climbing that ladder and being some very top-tier competitive teams. Seen some great gameplay, and today was another example of that. Really competitive square-up between Riot and the Hand of Death. Looking forward to what we're going to have the entirety of Season 7, because it's just going to be quality matchups nonstop, and I'm sure people are going to be clamoring for cats nonstop.
I imagine it, yeah.
Bucks, do you have any final thoughts?
My thoughts would probably be that Riot has changed, and I think they're going to continue to change as the season goes on.
Yeah, it's exciting to see the change in some of these old teams and the development of the new. It'll be something we keep seeing here. If you want to get involved into more Onward and you want to catch more of the Master League action, head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward, where you can you can follow the Twitter, you can follow both Twitches, you can sub to the Master League 1. Our Facebook links, everything is there. The links to the Discord where you can get involved and join the reservists. You can be potentially subbed in for one of these teams and play in the league. Or you can create your own team and be one of the new teams featured in the Master League. All up to you. Just a matter of going to the site. With that, we'll be signing off. Thank you for joining us. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Buxton. We'll see you later.
Goodbye.